Just kidding. Hello for real this time. Hello, everybody. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. If you are here on YouTube, welcome. If you are coming in here on Facebook, welcome. Happy Friday. Even though it don't really feel like a Friday to me, my days are now officially warped and I am here. Supposedly it's Friday. That's what the calendar says. That's what the schedule says. The schedule says it's Friday. But when my Friday was on a Wednesday and it was a half day, I best wishes to all involved. Best wishes to all involved. Anyway, happy Friday, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Get yourself situated. Get yourself settled in. You know what I'm saying? Come on in the room, okay? I'm going to start off, first of all, because we got a lot of things to cover. We're going to start off with our announcements, and we're going to start off with, we're going to get into our affirmation. But how y'all doing? How are y'all doing? I hope that you are having some extra days. I hope you have something that resembles a long weekend. If you are working, if you're an educator, hopefully you're enjoying your summer vacation. Um, but I'm really looking forward to getting into this affirmation with y'all. Really looking forward to getting your insights, your feedback, your experience with what you've been uh, how have you been handling this affirmation? How have you been, like, what has it been like for you? I want your feedback in the comments, so let me know. Let me know. And if you're on here from YouTube, let me know where you're chiming in from. I would love to know. I would love to know. So while everybody files on in, let me tell you right now, I'm just sharing. Don't mind me. I'm just sharing. You see me looking down? It's because I'm sharing. Okay. I'm sharing. So when we are talking about, we got a lot of stuff going on. Unfiltered has a lot of things going on. And I need you to pay close attention because we have a flyer that has all of the important dates that you need to mark on your calendar. If you rock with us for real, you are holding fast to that schedule, okay? So before we get into it, I just want to let you know that's the time we on. That's the energy we on. That's the type of schedule we on. All right. So just to be very clear, like you don't want to miss it is what I'm saying. You don't want to mess around and miss it, you know? Because we would hate to be having all of these things going on and you miss out because you didn't pay attention to the announcements. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get into these announcements really, 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 really quick. Okay. All right. So we got forms. Okay. And I know that some of you have utilized the forms. Thank you, because you're making it easier for us to keep track of opportunities to celebrate you. So we have our birthdays and celebrations forms. You can fill those out for any big, and it's very apropos. You know what I'm saying? Because today we are talking about celebrating accomplishments. We're talking about celebrating victories. We're talking about the value of celebration. So hopefully when we get through with this, we'll have more people talking about what they're celebrating. Okay. So birthdays and celebrations, the birthday and celebration form, fill that thing out so we can celebrate you. We cultivate an environment of celebration here, a community of celebration here, and so we want to celebrate you. Do not let your victories, your accomplishments, your things that you're excited about go under the radar, because that's not how we do it here. Okay. So that's the first thing. We also have our prayer requests and deliverance form, that if you would like us to pray over your prayer requests, at the fourth Wednesday of every month, we have community prayer. And then we also have, in regards to deliverance, we have deliverance quarterly, which is the fourth Thursday of the quarter. So for example, the first quarter, it was in March. The second quarter was scheduled for June. Okay. So the third quarter is going to be scheduled for September. Okay. So you can fill that out and you will get follow-up information from us. Those of you that have already filled that form out, please keep an eye out for your information, for your email, so that we can respond back to you accordingly and solidify your scheduling and all of those things. Those of you that have prayer requests, even if you are sending it in and it's not the fourth Wednesday of the month for prayer, please know that the team is praying over your prayer requests consistently from the time that they come in until the victory report comes out. Okay. So send them in. Okay. And then if it's still prevalent when we get to the fourth Wednesday prayer, we're going to shout it out again before the throne together corporately in our private group. Okay. So that's forms for that. We also have volunteers because we are growing and we need the extra help and the extra hands. And our team is so wonderful and so healthy and so strong and so good. And we're ever growing. And we also don't have enough hands. So if you want to be more involved, if you want to serve with Living Unfiltered in some capacity, if you feel like, I don't even know what y'all need, but let me see where I can fit. Fill out the volunteer form. We would love to have you. We would love to get you into the flow with us so that you can be able to make your mark here, participate here, serve here, make more things possible with more hands. Okay. So more hands makes for lighter work. Okay. 2x2 is still going on. Invite your people. And also while I'm here, I also would like to point out that we have over 160 members here. And so when you come into the lives, when you come into the comment section, we are asking you to, not only once you have invited your people, tag folks that you think are going to be benefited by this work. Invite those that you think would value the community that we're fostering here, because we've had numerous people that have reached out that are some are in the group, but some are not in our community yet. And have been invited now, but there are so many people that need what we offer here, the kind of community, the kind of authenticity, the kind of affirmation and upbuilding and empowerment that we offer here. And they just don't know about the community, or they don't know what the community is doing, so they're kind of missing what we're doing. So tag your people so they don't miss out. Okay, tag your people so they don't miss out, because we don't want to be out here having folks, having healing readily accessible to folks, and they just don't know that it's there, so they don't know how to they don't know how to grasp it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So also, do you have a favorite affirmation? And we've been pulling this one. I would just like to point it out. We are a community that does strategic affirmation practices, yes, that are scripturally based and benefit people, whether they are in the religious sphere or not. Okay, so these affirmations, whether it is in the group or in a TED Talk like our leader has done, to introduce and bring this to a wider stage in her TED Talk. If you have a favorite affirmation, or if you are a member of this community and it has benefited you in any way, we are asking you to create a 30 to 60-second video and send it to us. You can send it to any of our leaders via DM. You can send it to our email. You can send it, there's so many, we got so many ways to engage, right? But we want to hear your story. We want to hear your testimony. It's only 30 to 60 seconds. We're asking you to send that thing in because we want to hear from you. Okay. We value your voice and we value your contribution, and it means a lot to us and gives us a reach that we otherwise may not have when we have the testimonials of the community. So send in your thoughts, your feelings, your experience, your testimonial. Okay. All businesses and ministries thrive on testimonials. When you go to buy products, you look at the reviews, right? Okay. Testimonial, same thing. It's a review for the ministry. It is a review for the practices that we have here, for the community that we're building here. Yes. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for sending in your videos in advance. Appreciate you. We appreciate you. Okay. We also have the official unfiltered devotional and workbook that is available for pre-order. I know that y'all have heard it. You've seen the flyers floating around. It's right here. The graphic for it is right there on your screen, right there. Okay, so that is the official devotional and workbook for Living Unfiltered. Okay, and it is deep diving into the work that we do here, but you get to have it tangibly in your hands with a workbook to challenge you and bring you deeper into this work and kind of expose you to a little bit of what's available in coaching. But you can't get the whole thing. You got to sign up for coaching. But you can pre-order that, and if you pre-order for the deluxe package or the bonus, there are perks that come with that as well. So you'll get samples of the audiobook, you'll get exclusive merch, you'll also get access to an in-person or virtual show, presentation, speaking engagement. You will have a opportunity to get in there with us. Okay, so go ahead and pre-order. It's all in the Linktree link that you can see in the posts that we put up each and every single week. Okay, it's also available to you in the comment section. Thank you so much for the team posting that in the comments. And then we also have coming up first public event. Okay, keep your eyes open. First public event. Registration for the Saved Summer Sex series is live. Okay, it is live as of July 2nd. It is live. You can register in the Linktree link, and all of that information will be available to you. We are getting into everything holiness and salvation and sexuality and all of the taboo into table talk, and we having the men come in and give their perspective, and we're getting into all of the nitty gritty. We're talking about all of the things. Okay, so register. It's only $15, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's get into it, because we're having the conversations that your churches won't have. Okay, we're having the conversations that are necessary for believers and that just don't get talked about. And we're getting into it on August the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we'll be meeting each evening and getting into the tea. Okay, so register today. You don't have a whole lot of time. Okay, it's already the 5th. Okay, we already at the less than 30 days marker. Less than 30 days. So this is not one of those things that you put off and you do later. Just go ahead and register. It's $15. Get that registration out the way. Get your information. Submit your anonymous questions. And that way we can roll. Okay, you don't want to miss it. This is not something you want to miss. Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, last but not least, then we're gonna get into this affirmation, is that our retreat registration is live. Now, one thing you need to know, that early bird registration is $750, and we are offering a payment plan. You can split those payments up. It's going to be a little bit more if you do a payment plan, but you can make your first payment and be registered for and kick off your registration for the retreat and hold your spot by putting in your payment. Okay, let me say though, early bird registration only lasts through July the 20th. On July 21st, that price is going up about another $200 to $250. Okay, you don't want to miss out. It is $750 right now for early bird, and you can break up that payment. Really, you don't want to miss that opportunity, because this is a very exclusive, very intimate event. And anyone who was in attendance will be able to tell you that when we had our last retreat, it was transformative. It was life changing. It was so healing. And we replaced so many lies with the truth that it was just, we're still feasting off of it now. Okay. So go ahead and register. Again, that link is also available in the link tree. Okay. Go ahead and register, submit your full payment or your partial payment. And it is broken up by the system, so you'll know exactly how much. If you decide to do, a payment plan, that is an option. It'll break it up for you. You can pay a portion of it, and then it'll break up the rest of it into a scheduled plan out session. Okay, so that is it for our announcements. Okay, that is it for our announcements. Now that I am back inside here, tag your people. Come on in the room. Come on inside the room. Open your heart and mind. Okay, this is not. This is not the Auntie Tab show. So this is not the Auntie Tab show, but it's a fun time. Hey TK, hey Ace, hey Jabrea, hey Sabrina. Come on in here, y'all. Hey Joan, hey Allie, hey Rochelle. Yes. Oh no, what did I do? What did I do? Am I in here? Am I out of here? I'm still here. I'm still here. Just hitting buttons on my laptop is what I did. That's what I did. Okay. So let's get into this affirmation. Yes. Let's get into this affirmation. So this week's affirmation, as you can see at the bottom of the screen here. Yeah. My small victories matter and deserve to be celebrated. My small victories matter and deserve to be celebrated. When you first saw this affirmation and you saw the worthy work that was put up, I want your honest thoughts and feedback. Now that we're getting into it, yeah. What was your honest thought? Don't mind me while you see me down here sitting on the floor. While I'm sitting on the floor, don't mind me. Don't mind me. Got my little fancy mocktail. It's watermelon, lime, and mint, basically, and it's amazing. Okay, I'm making it last. Um, Tell me what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts? What were your feelings? What were your first thoughts when you saw the worthy work of, take out your calendar, look at your vision board. My vision board is right over there on my wall. It is right there on my wall. And let me tell you something. Queen said, my honest thought was that I'm overdue, but midpoint in the year is the perfect time. It really is. It really is the perfect time. Because the thing is, we create these vision boards, right? We lay out the word for the year. We talk to the Lord about what it is that we desire. We talk to the Lord about what He desires for us, right? We talk about it amongst our friends and we see it in the media and, right? All of these things. But it's so easy to get caught up. And that's part of the reason why, like, the approach was the approach, right? It's so easy to get caught up in, especially, first of all, in the chaos. Here in the US, the chaos that is the news every day. It's utter, I would say it's bedlam, but I know that my words have power. But it is crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy over here. Those of you that are tuning in internationally, I pray that there is more peace where you are. Huh? Amen. Yeah. But it's really easy to get caught up in the news, the hustle of trying to keep your head above water, trying to make all the ends meet, trying to climb the ladder at your job, trying to meet all of your goals and aspirations, trying to, hit all of your targets and see everything on your vision board come to life and watch it all happen in real time and simultaneously racing with sometimes abandon towards the next thing without really taking the time to enjoy what's happening now and what has already happened, right? What has already taken place. I had to think about this. The thing about it is, like, I had to think about it, and didn't I didn't intentionally look back over it. And when I tell you that every single affirmation has continuously been perfectly timed, I really could not make that up, because it just keeps happening week over week. It just keeps happening week over week. Okay. And so, and this one has been, it was scheduled for next, since we chose our affirmations at the end of last year to go through this year. And this one has been confirming itself week over week for the last several weeks in a row, gearing me up to go into this one. Okay. Jabrea said it was very eye opening to see how great I'm doing, because I can be my biggest critic, especially growing up with a mandate of high expectations. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, girl. We have a lot of folks in this group that grew up with folks with, very lofty expectations. And you know, it's really hard to be able to keep track of that. I remember being at the retreat, and one of our sisters just sharing, that, like, that the expectations have been so lofty for so long that she just was struggling to be proud of herself, that she was just struggling to be able to see the accomplishments, and the mandate of high expectation in the way that we perform, the way that we show up, the way that we, pour out everything that we have, whether we have it or not. Like, we pour everything that we have and then be like, you're empty. Okay, cool. Give some more. And that's not the way. That's not the way to function. That's not what we're called to. That's not the assignment on our lives, right? But most often, because of those high expectations and the hustle, hustle, hustle that is the culture that we live in, and the okay, on to the next, you did this big thing, okay, what are you doing next? And if I can tell y'all how many people, I graduated on the 22nd of June, the 22nd of June, and I cannot tell you how many people have, in the same breath as congratulating me, immediately asked me what I want to do next. In the same breath. The expectations the world sets for us and the ones we set for ourselves. Yes, and the ones we set for ourselves. Because sometimes the high expectations, the mandates are not out, they're not external, they're internal. They're self-imposed. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Yes. But I cannot tell you how many people have like engaged with the accomplishment, and then immediately asked me what I want to do with it, what I'm going to do next, what's the next expectation, what's the next step, are you getting another degree, you're going to go for your master's, what's happening next, what's happening next, what's happening next. And I'm like, I have just accomplished this generational goal, this, like, first of my generation. Like, I am the first in my immediate family to go to college. And it's so interesting how quickly folks want to move past that. And it's not to say that I don't have that I don't have an expectation, or that I don't have a hope for what comes next, that this is just, the end all be all, and this is just what it is. It's not that, right? It's not that. I'm only just getting started. Okay. I'm just getting started. However, because of the nature of this affirmation and how the Lord has been preparing me to be able to sit in and appreciate and celebrate without being like, okay, that was cool, time to move on. Expectations can be a form of validation when we haven't contended with our wounds. Yes. You better preach in these comments, ma'am. um, because it's true. And one of the things that we often do when we are going through our list of accomplishments and all of these other things, so often what ends up happening with us is that we're like, okay, I did that thing, and then it's time to move on. Then it's, oh, well, I gotta, that was nice, but like, I'm still trying to make it. I'm still trying to, and it can get really, really hard. It can get really, really hard when we are looking at it from a frame of, okay, I just got to get to the other side of this. I just have to complete this. I just have to finish this task. I just have to, finish the classwork for the degree. I just have to finish the deliverables on my job. I just have to reach the next goal when I'm in this meeting. And I just have to, be a better person. And I just have to be better, um, Jabrea said, this is why I have struggled so much with being still after an accomplishment, because I feel like I always have to move on to the next day. And sometimes I just want to say, bro, I don't have it in me to think about the next. Yes. Yes. I just have to has robbed me of so much. Yes. I just have to get to the other side of this. I remember, and it makes me a little bit emotional to think about it, but I remember going to the church that I was at in Rhode Island before I transitioned out of that organization. And I remember being like, everybody talks about this is our busy season, it's just busy. And then the season that they're talking about would end and they'd be like, this is our busy season. And every season was a busy season, and there was no room to take in and be still. There was no room to appreciate and grow and reflect. There was no room for anybody to breathe. It was just, oh, well, it's always busy season around here. I can move mountains and still feel like I'm in the same place because I was not present. Yes. Yes. And that was like, for me, one of my prayers leading up to graduation was, God, help me to be present. Help me to be present, because the busyness and the stresses of life are trying to steal this moment from me. It is a theft. And I'm going to call it, like, I'm going to use that kind of an intense language, because that's the kind of intense language that it requires, right? It requires us to realize that when all of these things happen and we don't reflect on the victories, we don't reflect on the goal, the growth, we don't reflect on the opportunity where we have expanded, it is a theft. Sometimes the call coming from inside the house and we're stealing it from ourselves. Other times the enemy is coming in and trying to snatch away those things that you've done, those things that you've accomplished, those places that you've gone, those oh my gosh, I never thought I would be able to respond that way. I almost would have lost my job last year if this situation happened. I could have got fired. Some of y'all, if you're honest with yourselves, could have got fired from your job because old you would have responded in such a way that it would have been a breach of your company's policy, and they would have been like, well, you can't stay here no more, goodbye. But you have grown and you've changed and you've expanded, and your maturity is up, and your spiritual your relationship with the Lord is up, and you're growing. So Holy Spirit was like very present in you and gave you the self-control to be able to hold back. Because some of us be like, instead of holding back, we'd be ready to haul back. You know what I'm saying? But like, and not me, obviously. You see the form of that punch. All right. Who's not a fighter? Anyway, you get it. Um, but some of us, it's the growth in the moment. It's the accomplishment in the moment that, like, when I came back from graduation, when we were driving back, my first thought was, I was like, I just want to take a week off from everything and just be home and just take in the accomplishment, because it was absolutely breathtaking, absolutely transformative, absolutely life changing, absolutely perspective shifting, to be able to cross the stage in my cap and gown, and my cap was decorated, and it wasn't just, like, some average thing that I settled for. It was better than I could have imagined. Shout out to my ace. I got to graduate without lacking a single thing. Not only did I get to graduate, but I also got to I got to have the experience of being officially licensed. Like, I have my license. They gave it to us in a frame, and like framed and everything. I have my ministerial license. I am a licensed minister, and I've been ministering for years. But if you know the history behind it, you know that it was always preached and taught against, that because I am a woman, that is not something that I can ever do, can ever be. Even if I were called, I could never function in that, based off of where I came from, based off of how I grew up. I even corrected my mother when I was younger, when she would tell people that I would grow. She used to, she used to be like, "Oh yeah, when Jasmine grows up, she wants to be a minister," and I would be like, "No, girls can't be ministers. What are you saying? What are you saying?" And she would be like, "I mean, it's the same thing." I'm like, "Girls can be missionaries." Not that a missionary is a female job, but that's the story for another day. Also must have been at also must have been at my job today, because baby, the urge to throw hands was strong. The growth, the growth. Yes. And thank you, Jabrea, for the congratulations. The growth is tangible, and a lot of times it can be really easy for us to be like, "Oh, I didn't meet this goal in the way that I thought I would, or I didn't accomplish this thing in the way that I thought I should, or it wasn't in the time frame that I originally hoped for." And so we bypass it, or we minimize it, or we allow other people to minimize it. And it really comes down to understanding the value of your victories. Write that in the comments. The value of the victory. Okay? Because in a major war, the war is not won by it's not won by a singular small victory. It's not just one. It's not like a war. It's not like war happens and it happens in a singular fight and it's winner take all, right? That's not how most wars in the history of humankind have functioned. But there are victories that take place over here and over there and back there and over there and over time, and they happen in different areas, and sometimes it's as small as a victory of JL over Sisera, where it's one individual taking out one individual, and that individual happens to be the leader of an army. Other times it is blowing up the blueprints and the plans of the enemy. Other times it is taking out their warheads over there. Other times it is taking out a headquarters over there. And they're not usually in the same place. The value of the victory has to be marked. You have to mark the value of the victory, because what happens is, if we don't, we forget that the victory happens, and if we lose a battle, right? if we lose a battle in the future, or we don't accomplish the thing in the future, just in this one particular area, or in the specific way that we envisioned it, we'll treat it like it's a loss. Even if it's not, we might treat it like it's a loss, and then call the whole war a loss. What do you mean? That's not how any of this, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Okay? That's not how any of this works. We have to be able to mark the value of our victories. We have to be able to look at our vision boards and see the value of what we have declared, of what we have set the expectation for, of what we have hoped for and dreamed for. There are things on my vision board that I just never, thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. There's like I never, there are things on that are hanging, like I have these little tags, right, from being able to travel for my business that are not listed on this vision board. Like those are things but when I got to go on the work trip, and I had the badge, and some of them say speaker, and some of them, what does the other one say, production staff, and all, right, I was like, oh, I'm adding this, I'm hanging this lanyard, I'm hanging this lanyard on my vision board, because now it is added, and it is not only, oh God, help me on today. It is not only a thing to aspire to, it is evidence of the victory. It is every badge that I have hung from the thumbtack that holds up the corner of my vision board. Every badge from every paid work trip that I have gone on is hanging up there, not only as a testament of what God can do, but what he has already done. It is a testimony of what that the victories have already happened, and that they are possible, and that the greater, like some of them vary, but they all, like each badge has a story. Like each badge has a story. And and that's something that I can mark. Shoot, I even mark my glasses are a small version of a victory. I literally was like, these glasses, these frames are like $0. I paid $23 for these glasses. It feels like a win to me. It's like a win to me. And that's a small thing. It just makes me happy, you know? It's a small thing that just makes me happy. And a lot of times what ends up happening is we don't keep track, we don't keep tabs on the things. Like people throw those badges away all the time. They throw away the name badges from conferences all the time. Attendees, first of all, what, those of y'all that go to convocations and church conventions and stuff like that, how many of your church conventions badges do you keep? Even if they don't have your name on them or anything like that. Some of them do, but some of them don't. Do you keep every badge? No, most people don't keep them. Most people have them so that they can enter into the special events, the VIP events, the night services, or the night concerts, or whatever, right? And when they leave the convocation, they throw it away because they got no use for it. They go to a work conference, they throw it away because they got no use for it. They don't see the value of it. There's no value. It doesn't feel like a victory to them. To me, every single one is a victory. 30-day limit post event. Exactly, Jabran. 30-day limit. And sometimes that 30 days is only because you forgot to unpack before you got home, right? Like, and it's just sitting in the bottom of your bag. Or you're like, how many of these things in my registration packet do I keep? Right? And then you just decide from there that the badge is not one of the most important things. I've been to plenty of them, okay? I've been going to them since I was a young teen. I was a child. I never kept my badges. If they lasted, it was because I forgot they existed. It was not because I was like, oh yeah, this is so valuable, and oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. I did keep my first several years of paper boarding passes when I first started getting on airplanes, because nobody in my household really got on planes like that. And I was like, I'm going places. I'm going places. I've been on an airplane. I flew from Boston to South Carolina. I flew from Boston to Orlando, and I flew, you know? So I kept those for a little while. They've been gone now for a very long time. But because now, boarding passes are on your phone. But like, that was my perspective. And so, and it didn't actually, I didn't even remember that I kept those things. So Lord, thank you for bringing that back to my memory. But we have to be able to set a marker, which is why I told you to take out your calendar. The taking out of your calendar is not for you to, schedule your life to death. It was so that you could look back over the last several months and see what did you put on your calendar that was like, what did you put on there? Did you mark your accomplishments? When 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 Dr. Gibson did her TED Talk, do you think that that was not on the calendar? Do you think the travel for that was not on the calendar? When Jabrea, when Jabrea launched her community and her program and her partnership for the spina bifida community, do you think that wasn't on the calendar? Do you think that it wasn't a goal back at some point? Like, thank you, Dr. Jesse. Um, do you think that that was not on the thing? Do you? While you came in here just in time, Dr. Jesse, because I'm naming names. When Dr. Talley launched her book, do you think that that was not on the calendar? Do you think it was not marked on her calendar? Do you think that my graduation was not marked on the calendar? Do you think that my licensing night was not marked on the calendar? The entire weekend was packed full. Everything about that weekend was on the what, like, not every detail, because there were some things that I could not have planned for that just were, they were just God's icing on top of the cake. It was, do you think your stuff is not on the calendar? Because if you have a big thing that's going that happened in the last year, and you mean to tell me that you never marked it anywhere, then I would say your life need a little bit of order. And maybe you letting life happen to you haphazardly. I don't know. Or maybe the Lord just favors you and you just remember things when it's upcoming. But most people, they have major life events, experiences, accomplishments on their calendar. So when I say to you, pull out your calendar, it is for you to go and look back at what you have done. Mark that thing. Mark that accomplishment. Look at the victory. And look at the value behind what that started. Dr. Talley's book is going to be a tool for those that are going through their academic journey and going for their doctorates and other major academic accomplishments. Do you think it's not on the calendar? Do you think that she won't have a record to look back on of the day that she launched that book? No. It, at least now, let me just say, if it's not on your calendar, Dr. Talley, but I feel like it is, because ain't nobody, I feel like nobody that gets to a PhD does not rely heavily on their calendar. Dr. Gibson, can you attest? I know in this house, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. Okay. And that's for future dates. And therefore, it is something to reflect on when you're looking at past dates. It's on the calendar, it's on the vision board. Things that I didn't even imagine could happen, if they weren't on the vision board, they've been added. They've been added. So all of that to say, if you don't have a vision board, and I know I've mentioned it before, and for those that are going to catch the replay, if you are unfamiliar with what a vision board is, it can be any size, really. Mine is the size of a poster board. Okay, it is a hot pink poster board. It's actually more like a neon hot pink poster board, and it has words of declaration like, it is time to live well, overcome with love. One of my favorites is love your true history without dreading it. Like, there are declarations like I belong. There are declarations like your body is art. And there's a declaration about there are declarations about finances. It's like enough to share and respect the beautiful mind. And there's stuff about healing and the kind of way I want to dress. And there's my expectations and aspirations for my relationship with Jesus, like choosing freedom and counting it all joy, and how grace rocked my world. And just there's so many things on there. And when I did not know that I could consider traveling for work as a standard part of my business, the Lord sent me. And I came home and I added the badge for each of those conventions. I went to like 3 different pharmaceutical conventions. Each of those badges are hanging on there. Okay, Dr. Jesse. Okay, so to say what that's probably the reason why I was like, part of the worthy work was like, if you have a vision board, take it out and look at it again. Because vision boards are not like, people typically make them at the turn of the year, like, when it goes from, somewhere between late December, early January, folks are making vision boards. But like, sometimes folks are making them every single year. But vision boards are for life. They are not just for January. So when I say make a vision board, if you don't have one, that's okay. It's okay if you don't have one, but it's time to make one. It's time to lay it out, and it can be as creative. Some people have a lot, like I have some photos on there like that have movement and like healthy foods, and I have like, hopes, visuals that remind me that the things that I expect in having a future family of my own. Just a reminder there, like there are some photos, it's mostly statements. Like one of them is, and it's some of them are big and lofty, like, speaking at conferences and being on panels and all of that stuff. And then there's another one that says stand out from your closet. Like, you don't need to go and buy something new every single time, but you can look in your closet, you can shop your closet, stand out, but do it from your own closet already. Like, there's stuff in there that you don't touch, right? Or stuff that you don't put together that you wouldn't imagine putting together. And it's a completely different look. So it can be anything from the big things to the small things. Your small victories matter and deserve to be celebrated. My small victories matter and deserve, not just, oh, it's a good idea to celebrate them. They deserve it. Let your victories breathe. Let them breathe. Like, let them have time to set into the fabric of you so that it can help as you go to when you are ready to go into your next, when you are called into your next, when your next assignment comes up, it's seeped. And like, you get a stain on your clothes and and you let it dry and it sits in for a couple of days, it seeps into the fabric of the material. And if it's an oil, if you don't know how to get an oil mark out, Dr. Gibson has a cure for that. But for the purpose of this talk, okay, when you get an oil stain on your stuff and you let it sit there, that thing sets into the fabric, and it just is what it is. It's now a fixture. Let your victories set into the fabric of who you are and become a fixture in who you are. Because those victories are going to be what pushes you into winning the next war, winning the next battle, overcoming the next foe, hitting the next accomplishment. But you have to let it set into the fabric of you, or you will pass that thing right on over. And whether you mean to or not, wash the victory right out of your memory. You'll wash it right out of your memory. It will be as though it never happened. And folks have to remind you of, like, you remember that time that you spoke at that such and such? Or you had this event. You remember that Saturday when we got together with so and so, and they came up to you afterwards and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you changed my life. I can't believe that you knew my my business without knowing my name yet." Like, and only because God told you, not because, somebody broke my trust or something. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all. Let your victories settle into the fabric of who you are so that you have something to draw on in the moment, because everything don't go our way, right? Not every victory feels like a major victory. But if you have something to draw on, if you be like, like I have a this is not a victory. This is not a victory, but there's a burn mark here. It's settled into the fabric of who I am at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's a scar into, is it there? I don't know. I can't see. I can't see. Ah, there it is. There it is. It's settled into the fabric of who I am. It is in my skin. I've got a story to remember about that. Okay? It is seared into me. I remember exactly how it happened, when it happened, how old I was, all of the things, right? Your victories need to be in you like this barn. Let your victories settle into the fabric of you for real, for real. You have to have, yes, without memorials, it becomes minute, what? Minute over time. The past wins keep the future promises fresh. Minute. Haha, I know how to read. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody chill. Um they become minute over time. This is unfiltered. This is unfiltered, and I love it here. I get to just be me. Thanks for going with me, guys. Um, Dr. Gibson said, I wrote Dr. Gabrielle Gibson on some blank checks and realized that I had done a TEDx talk and my name has since changed to Dr. Gibson. It's so important to sit with. I'm going to do more sitting leading up to my birthday. Yes. Yes. I have to get back to making vision boards and hanging my goals around the house. It definitely gives you that extra motivation when life gets to lifing. Then date the goals when they are achieved. Yes. 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 It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. So, that is what I have for you tonight. It is putting a lot of value into the victories that you've already accomplished. If you have not already gone back, weekend is wide open in front of us. Yeah. Look at your calendar. Mark down the things that you have accomplished. Look at if you've gone through coaching, look at your brag sheet and look over that stuff. When you look at the things, your goals that you have projected, you have that stuff laid out. Man, when that stuff starts to happening in real life, you couldn't have told me when I went through coaching that I mean, I put it down as a goal that I was going to get my degree, that I was going to, I was going to start and finish a thing. But going to coaching it was the thing, the very first, like, I can start and finish a thing. And it was hard, and it was such good work, and it was challenging, and it was intensive, and it is rightly named a 6-week intensive. Okay. So put value on your victories. Let your victories set into the fabric of who you are. So that's what I have for you. They deserve to be celebrated. If you got to mark out time in your day to be able to sit and really take it in, really sit and take it in. Figure it out. Figure out a time, because you give time away to everybody else all the time. If we're being quite honest, most people in this community are givers. We will give our time, energy, effort away to anybody that needs it or just wants it and not think twice. Okay. But in this case, take that time for yourself before you go giving it away to somebody else or to everybody else. Give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. Take out your calendar, get your poster board. You can even do people, some people even have virtual oh, and we give it to social media. Guilty. Yes. I didn't know you was in here naming names, Dr. Gibson, but it's cool. But we do give it away. We give our time away to people and things, and social media eats up an embarrassing amount of our days if we're honest with ourselves. Save a social media detox. Most of us spend entirely too much time on there. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you all. I'm going to run quickly through the announcements just one more time, very briefly. Make sure that you look at the top of our page, hit the features, go to the featured posts up there. You will see all of our forms for volunteering, for prayer requests, for deliverance, for birthdays and celebrations. They are all up there. Invite your people because 2 by 2 matters. When you come into these lives, tag your people because we have a community of over 160 people here. And a lot of folks need community, but they don't know that we're live because some folks don't have their notifications on. So tag your people when you come in here every time. Tag your people, invite folks and tag them when we're live. When we come in here, tag them in the comment section if you think it's going to benefit them. Okay. Make sure that you send in. And it will, Jabrea. You're not lying. Ooh, that screen time recap be having me embarrassed sometimes. I be like, how many hours? Yikes. And it's worse when the phone gives you a breakdown of like the amount of time that you spent on each. Now I'll be like, oh my God. Okay. Now, okay. The same way that you, before you go to a restaurant or before you buy stuff online, you look at the reviews. Before people when people come into this community, or when people want to sow into this community, or when people want to come here and figure out what's up here, they're looking for testimonials. Hi. 30 to 60-second video. If you can put together, look, we just talked about the amount of time that we spend on our phones. You could record a 30 to 60-second video testimonial of your favorite affirmation or how the community has impacted you, and share that with us. Send that into the leaders, so that we can be able to keep a record, keep a running record. This is that your testimonials are the way that we mark our victories in this community. So send in your 30 to 60-second video testimonial. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Also, we also have the unfiltered devotional and workbook. Okay, the official devotional and workbook, because we have it, and it's like, you have your worthy work that you see each week, but this is like it's in your hand. You've got excerpts, you've got all the insights, you've got a workbook at the end of it, you got something in your hand to work through and work through again. Because if we're being honest, this worthy work is not something you do one time and then you move on. It's something that you keep coming back to. This is a tangible resource to have in your hands to challenge you season over season. Okay, so go ahead and pre-order. And if you pre-order with the deluxe or bonus, you also get so many perks associated with that. So go ahead into the link tree and pre-order that. You can also register for our Save Summer Sex series. This is not something you put off, okay? This is not something you put off. It is $15. It is a private event, and only those that register will have access to the links each night. Okay, so it's $15 to register if you want to just attend in person. We also have replay options available for purchase. You can buy them as a package and save a little coin, and have access to it. I'm just saying, register. It is happening August 2nd through the 4th. That is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we are getting into all of the taboo into table talk. Okay, we are getting into the tea, the stuff that your church don't want to talk about. We're talking about it. So don't miss out. Bring your questions. They will be answered anonymously if you desire for them to be answered anonymously. I believe it in our registration form. We have it listed as like, you can submit whatever questions you have for whatever night, and they will be answered anonymously. So you don't have to be embarrassed or ashamed. You can ask anything. We are talking about so much. and we want to answer your questions. Okay. And last but not least, well, second to last, but not least, is registration for our retreat in December. We have our early bird rate of $750 for this all inclusive, intimate, and incredible, just absolutely incredible retreat coming up in December. But early bird is only until July 20th. Okay. On the 21st, that price is going up and it's not coming back down. Okay. We also have payment plans available for those of y'all that want to break up the payment. That's fine. It'll break it up into equal parts and you can pay it out in portions. Okay. And so register. All this stuff is in our link tree. Okay. It is in the link. Don't miss out because you didn't go to Dr. Gibson's link tree. It is available pretty much in every lab. It's all over the place. We got it all over the place. Okay. And then finally, and this ain't even this, I'm just saying as a graduate, as an alumni of the Creating and Cultivating Abundance small group coaching, you don't want to miss this. If you are looking for a push, if you are looking for growth, if you are looking to be challenged and pushed into your goals and aspirations, we're talking about tonight having victories. You want to see the victories that you have hoped and dreamed about, but never figured out how to make them from an ideation into a reality, and you're ready to do the work, you need to join CNCA coaching. Okay, with Dr. Gibson, also available in the link tree. Okay, it's all there. It is all there. I would not be where I am. I would not have accomplished any of the things that I've accomplished had I not enrolled in group coaching and figured out what it like and had my coach walk me through how to get from ideation to reality. So, if you're ready to do the work, pull up. Apply to group coaching. Okay? Apply to group coaching. Yes, you have to apply. Yes, it is detailed because we're talking about your life here and it should be no less than that. So, register for all of the things. Apply for group coaching if you are ready to do the work and see your dreams become realities. Okay? That's it. That's everything. That is everything. All right? And make sure that you keep track of the dates that are in it's in our cover photo on the page. It is our profile picture on Facebook. So make sure that you are keeping track of the dates. Okay, registration for Save Summer Sex Series is open as of the 2nd and will be happening on August the 2nd through the 4th. And then we have registration open for the retreat. Registration for the retreat closes on October 15th. Mark that on your calendars while you're out here pulling your victories. Mark these deadlines on your calendar. Okay, that is everything. Thank y'all for coming in here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for contributing, and thank you for your celebrations and your congratulations and all of the things. And I will be going live personally on my own page at another time to just tell the story of my whole testimony, all of the things on my own time. But I love you all, and I cannot wait to see you in the comments and to have you pull up on us at each of these events that we have coming up so fast, because what is time? Okay. But we love you and we appreciate you, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye.